Honestly, bro. Honestly.
Hmm.
So I connected probably most with cheerleading.
Hmm.
I, so go figure, right? Um, yeah, I am. So after I cheerleaded in high school, and my high school we won nationals and all that stuff. We're pretty good. And after that, I went to I cheerleaded professionally and did a couple camps, taught a couple kids. Um, and yeah, and it was a great experience. But actually, a lot of the cheerleading stuff translated over to fighting pretty well, honestly. So um, I'm grateful. Like if I didn't cheerlead, a lot of like I'll be a totally different fighter. So hooray for cheerleading.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, Rafa Sparza, coming to you with another great installment of the Grappling Hour. I hope you're having a great day. We have an excellent guest. This guest is all smiles now, but if you see him compete, sometimes less smiles, more slaps, depending on the rule set, sometimes punches, if you've seen his MMA fights, but we'll get to him in a second. Before we do, a couple quick reminders. First and foremost, if you like the show, and I hope that you do, I would love it if you check us out at patreon.com/grappling hour. If you go to patreon.com/grappling hour for just $5 a month, you can support your boy over here in his many different shows that he does. And in return, you get 4 interviews per month. Nobody else is doing it like us. 4 interviews, some people you know who are big in the community, and some people who are up and comers that you may not know, but you're gonna know. For example, we just celebrated 10 years ago, was one of the first events that I was a commentator for. And a little unknown by the name of Gordon Ryan was given, I think, his first interview. If somebody interviewed him before me, it definitely wasn't as important as mine. And, you know, he needed some help back then. He needs help now, but in a different way. Nonetheless, you can go check that out. And I mean, you can see us all the way to right now. Landon Elmore, who just won EBI, another Danaher standout on Kingsway. It's not used to saying that right now, actually. But Landon Elmore, who just won EBI, he was on this show recently as well. So we basically stay with everybody you need to know. Go support us. $5 a month. And for a few extra dollars, you can buy extra bonus content. That is not available anywhere else. You can also like, comment, and subscribe on this video if you like it. I hope that you do. And if you don't know what you want to comment on, by the end of this video, we will give you something to comment on in the comment section. So think about that. You could also check us out on our Discord at Grappling Hour if you want to continue the conversations that we have here on the show. And just announced, we just got some new merch. So we're sending out some hoodies to some of our friends who ordered and some t-shirts. So you know we have those 2 things. But now we got Grappling Hour tank tops. And I'm very excited to be putting those out. Do I even have one here? I might have one. Stick with me here. The beauty of doing a live to tape show is that you will have stuff on hand. Yes, here is, I think, one of the tanks. So we just got these in case you guys are trying to show how swole you are or got during the summer. Get you one of those, support the show. It means a lot to us here. You can find that at rafasparza.com/merch. All right, let's get to our guest. Well, our guest was definitely a standout at the most recent Subversiv. He was an excellent practitioner there, but it's no surprise if you know the type of people he is training with. And we were so stoked to have him on that card. But here's the sad part. When I did the post interview with him, he said he had to go straight to work. So I didn't even get to do a full interview to give him his props. I thought it would be best to actually give him his props here on the show itself. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome for the very first time, Corvin Allen. Corvin, how are you doing, sir?
What up? What up? I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good.
Corvin, how long was that shift that you had to do on that day? Because when you were telling us you had to go, I thought it was kind of funny. And then I saw an interview that you did with our interviewer downstairs, and she also got an interview where you're like, "I'm glad to be here, but I gotta go."
Yeah, I could have handled that better. I feel like yeah, I was just I don't know. I don't know. I was thinking about the traffic maybe. I don't know. But yeah, my shift, it's an 8-hour shift, and yeah, it's just, making sure the earth is secure for all you civilians out there.
Thank you. Appreciate your hard work there. And I can't help but notice when you refer to us as civilians, I get that you train, I get that you're a tough guy, but you might also have a saving complex because behind you is a Batman poster. So talk to me about this, sir. Do you feel that you are connected to Batman because you have to go out there and save civilians, or do you just enjoy the Batman and the Joker dynamic that you have behind you?
Um, well, we're getting deep here, huh? Wow. Uh, so no, no, I don't want to save people. It's too much work, honestly. It's too much work. Like, look at what's going on in the world. It's too much. So I'm good. I'm good. I just like the work, the artwork back there. I don't even remember where I got it from, but it's been there. But yeah.
Are you a Batman fan? Is that where this comes from? And if so, how long have you been a Batman fan?
So I am a fraud. I'm a fraud. I
Mm,
like Batman. I like Batman. Don't get me wrong. Um, but I am not a hardcore diehard. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all the Batman fans out there. I am a fraud.
it's fair. It's fair. But I feel I'm on the dartboard of nerd. I just haven't figured out what kind. Now, partially
I can
because the
tell.
glasses are here. And granted, the niceness doesn't fool anybody. We know you're good at fighting. But where on the nerd dartboard do you fall? Because I feel there's something there. Is it an anime sort of fix? Like, where are we here, sir?
So, I mean, it's a little bit of anime,
Yeah, okay.
up there.
Hmm.
So, yeah, there you go. That's that's it.
Hey, listen, I knew I was on the dartboard somewhere. I didn't know how close to the bullseye I was, but I
Yeah.
felt like that's at least on one of those 20 spots if you're playing cricket. So, okay, Corvin, talk to me about that night because you did out of a fun match. I want to know
Mhm,
how you became involved with us at Subversive because if I'm not mistaken, you jumped to be a replacement for somebody else.
mhm.
There was another guy, your opponent, he was supposed to face somebody else, but that fell through. And then we gave you the call. So, how did that all come together on your side?
So I believe it was like Sunday morning, and I just got off work. I just got off work, and I was driving home, or I was driving to training, one of the two, and yeah, and I got the message on Instagram, and I was just like, yeah, yeah, like I have nothing else to do on Friday, and I'm always ready, and it'll be fun. It'll be great exposure, and I've been wanting to be on Subversive for a while now. Um, so I just saw it as a great opportunity. The weight we negotiated. I was a little unclear on the weight, but I made weight. I made weight,
Mm.
and but yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. Great time. I'd love to do it again.
I mean, we'd love to have you again. So, I think we're in a good accord. I'm sure our matchmaker will be in touch with you more as we get things dialed in. We just had a conference call today, and it's like we're still going over one sheets and being like, hey, did we pay this person? Make sure we go do this,
Hmm.
this, this, this. So we are double checking and
Right.
crossing our I's and T's before we get back to, I think, for matchmaking. Having
Right.
said that, describe your match from your perspective. Because to me, I knew your opponent well. I like him a lot. And at the press
Mhm.
conference, you guys were so excited. It seemed very buddy buddy and it was very nice. And then all of a sudden, we see you're about to get out there. And man, was it a really fun match to watch.
Yeah. You got to be able to flip the switch, and um, I don't know. Even out there, it's just it's all a fun time. It's all fun, and yeah, honestly, like he was a cool dude. I didn't know him. I know people that know him, so yeah. Well, upon getting the match, they were telling me stuff. Oh, he's asking about you, whatever, whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, it's cool. But other than that, he seemed like dope guy. But when you get out there, it's just kind of like, you know, I want to win. I like winning. So, they said it was about the smacks, how many strikes you landed, and submission attempts and slams. So that's what I was doing.
To say the least, yes, you definitely
So
we're coming through for us on that side. Because one of the reasons why we
trying.
have a certain rule set for overtime is we get tired of people gaming the system. We want to see action. If you're doing combat, you tend to be somebody who's fought before or somebody who's
Right.
interested or jujitsu is there. So we just get tired of the middleman when you can tell when an athlete's
Hmm.
like, I'm going to take this to overtime and I'm going to win via
Right.
EBI overtime rules. So
Right.
this is our little way of enticing more action. And I felt like you guys proved throughout it could be fun, it could be back and forth. Did you have a particular favorite moment from that match?
Um, I mean, there were just times where I could just tell he was miserable. But for sure, I know people have seen it. The highlight where we're just smacking each other crazy, just back and forth, back and forth. Because the thing is, he started it. Like I was like, okay, let me move to better position so I can get better striking ability, right? But then he just starts smacking me from the bottom, and I'm like, dude, you're on bottom, relax. And then he started hitting me again, and I was like, oh, okay, man. And then I was like, okay, he looks like he's winning because I'm not doing anything. So I need to start like, let me get into it. And then we start going back and forth. And then, if people saw, after a while, I started getting the better, and he didn't want it anymore. So he started clinching me more, and I was like, dude, like, no, let's keep going. And he was laughing underneath. But yeah, dude, it honestly, that stuff, like competition gets me going. Like if they're just a dead fish, it's just like no fun. But when they're like back and forth, tit for tat, that stuff like fuels my energy. Like I have cardio nonetheless, but like that gets me going. So yeah, it was fun.
Okay. Okay. I was wondering if that was your favorite moment because
Yeah.
to me, it kind of gets into the absurd to then amazing back again because, I had somebody who I trained with one time. I consider him a friend, but he was running through all of his guys and he was getting ready for a combat match. And I had
Mhm.
offered, I was like, hey man, do you need any help? Like, you've clearly beaten up all your students. And he's like,
Mhm.
yeah, let's roll. And he wasn't able to get anything on me. So then he started raining slaps. And now we hadn't agreed to that. And I wasn't sure because I'm not a fighter. I didn't know what my
Right.
reaction would be. And while he's in
Right.
mount, I literally upstruck him from bottom. So in a very similar way,
Right.
I was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And then I started slapping him throughout the match. And or the roll, I guess I should say. It's not even a match, it's just a roll with a buddy. And then
Right.
afterwards, he tried telling me, he's like, hey man, I just wanted to let you know that like, you know how you roll, like you couldn't do that in MMA. I'm like, first of all, do I look like I'm trying to take an MMA fight? Second of
Yeah.
all, I'm helping you, you dork. And third of all,
Right.
how's your lip? Because I could see it was a little busted. And he's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine. You didn't really
Okay.
do much to me. And I was like, all right, well, your lip says
Yeah.
differently. Don't fucking
Right.
slap me again, dude. So when I
Right.
saw that happening, I was like, I know you can slap from the bottom. It's just sometimes not the funnest of places. And if I recall, was he not in like half guard? And it looked like you guys were kind of fighting over a toy at elementary
Yeah.
school. And that's when
Yeah.
I started laughing hysterically.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was either half guard or full guard.
Mm-mm.
But either I remember I think he I think we were talking after and he was like, yeah, man, I was in guard and I was just like, I'm gonna slap him. And I was like, okay. I was like, okay, like you did that, like you did. And so, but I think it's ill advised. In
Mm.
MMA, it's ill advised, but it's like, yeah, this isn't MMA. Like, if the guy on top isn't doing anything, smack the shit out of him. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I get it.
Right. Again, it was one of our all-time great clips that we have now in our library. So thank you guys for that. I just laugh because,
Of course.
there's a moment where I'm on commentary and I think I started laughing. I'm not sure if I covered it well. I can't tell if I pressed the mute button, but it just looked funny. And I go, well, I hope they have a sense of humor about this. And, I know your opponent, so he was a nice guy.
Yeah.
But anyway, nonetheless, you pick up this win. You get this exposure in a different world. You finally get on the Subversiv card. And then you have to go to work. So, like, how do you decompress down to go to work? Because I know when I compete, I'm on a like high level and it's hard to come down for at least 2 to 3 hours. Even sometimes when you're eating, you still haven't fully come down from it. So from you and your perspective, like, how did that come down happen? And did it hit like in the middle of your shift?
So secret about me is that there is no come down. Uh, People that know me, they know that I have energy all the time. For no reason, I get off work, I go train, I go for a run, go train. Train until 3, get out, come back home. I just, So for me, I just, I just saw it as a normal day. You know what I mean? Like I was like, all right, like I'm gonna go have some combat jiu-jitsu, see what it's about, and I'm gonna win, and I'm gonna go to work. And that was just that was just my mindset. It wasn't like, it was just another day. I've had worse, right? Because I've gotten elbows. I got rocked in my last fight. Like I got wobbled. So I'm like, dude, like ain't nothing worse than that. Like you know what I mean? Like I've been dropped before in fights. So for me, it's just like this is this is the worst that he's had. This is not the worst that I've had. So, you know,
Okay. Because I'm glad you have energy for days, but I think we're about to get into origin stories here in a little bit.
okay.
But I guess what you're
Okay.
telling me is, without telling me, you were a hyperactive child.
You know what? When I hear stories, I feel like I am, but I don't remember that. I don't remember it like that. I don't know. Maybe it's just the CTE. It might just be the It might just be the CTE. But I don't
Okay,
remember it that way. But
let me try
people,
to rephrase this question a different way. Do you
oh,
feel if I talk to your parents, they would say, no, he was kind of hyperactive? Because that's the real telling story.
no, okay. So I think I was a pretty chill kid. I didn't get in a lot of trouble. I was pretty quiet, but like I would get in trouble in class for like, oh, he was talking or something, right? And I always had a reason why. It was like, oh, I was helping them with their work, which I was. I was answering a question, which I was. But I maybe should not have answered the question at that time while the teacher's talking. So, um, yeah, I don't. I'm pretty chill. I was pretty chill, except at school.
Okay. Okay. We'll get into that later. Therapy bills will be sent. But I do know
Yeah.
that on my side, when I looked back on my like the grade cards that you would get, the report cards from school,
hmm
I looked at my old ones and they said talks a lot. But my grades were good. They were just trying to like find something constructive to tell my parents. And
Yeah.
all these years later, I go, but that's what I do. So like, who are they to tell me what was going on? This is where I make money.
Right.
Like, they had no
Right.
shit. They didn't know that I was going to be doing this and like interviewing people and doing that as a
Right.
career. I didn't know that's what I was doing. I was just talking to people because I had a natural interest in them. But I
Right.
remembered in like high school, I had one of my teachers accuse me of copying. And I remembered looking at her and be like, I'm not copying, but literally 5 people behind me are copying. And
There.
you're trying to do this to me. So I
Right.
also know the unfortunateness of a mistimed look from a teacher here
Yeah.
and there.
Right.
Nonetheless, okay, so you're able to plug back in. You said that you've gone there after fights, so you've had to also go to work after fights as well.
Um, I think maybe one fight. maybe one fight I went to work right after. Maybe it was more local.
Mhm.
But usually I try to get the day off the day before and the day of, but then I go to work the next day.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's the part I figure when you fight for a living is always the most difficult because even if you won, you might look like you lost sometimes. And I do wonder if your coworkers, do they know you fight? Are they aware of that? Because it feels like an awkward conversation to circumvent when you got something busted and you go, "Yeah, so what are we doing today?" "Okay, cool. Just let me know. I'm here for my shift."
Right. Right. So they know that they all I think they all know that I fight. Um but luckily I don't take a lot of damage. Usually I look about the same after my fights. Even the elbow that caught me, it caught me on the temple. So I think I got one cut from the fight, but it was like the guy didn't mean to land the elbow. I just ran into his elbow. But story for another day. But yeah, usually I'm pretty unscathed from my fights. I can go to work the next day. I can train the next day. Um, I run the day of and the day after. I'm pretty good.
I mean, clearly, and you've been doing this for a minute now, so we're going to get into that in a second. But I guess
Hmm.
my overall thought before we transition into kind of your background and what you've been doing is like now that you've gotten the subversive experience, if somebody were to ask you, like, describe the experience, because we had you on a press
Hmm.
conference, you were able to have this amazing match. We got this really fun
Hmm.
exit interview that I laughed at when I saw it. So, like, how would you describe the entire subversive experience as a whole?
Um, mm, it sucks because I wish I could have stayed after to really take it all in, but I think it's just kind of exhilarating, especially for a grappling event. I've done like local, competitions and whatnot, and you know, done decent there. But it's just, there's a couple mats and people around. It's nothing crazy. It's just a grappling match, grappling event. But for this, it felt like a spectacle in a sense. It felt like bringing a fight feel to grappling, and I think that was super refreshing because it just felt like this is my shit. This is my shit. This is what I do. With the people, and it's cool because the people were a lot closer in proximity, so you got to kind of play it up a little bit. You got to be out of yourself, and it was just. I think for me, it was. I don't know, man. It was refreshing. It was refreshing. And I feel like the more like this, I don't know. I think this type of thing can do a lot for grappling. So I think it was awesome. It was awesome, exhilarating, dope with all the cool slang words, adjectives to describe things. That's what Subversive was.
Well, we're glad to hear that. Hopefully, we can get you
Hmm.
in for the next media day so we can actually do a pre interview before your stuff and we can get you to do some
Hmm.
fun stuff so you get the even bigger experience. And yeah, I mean, now you know the date, so you know it's November 21st.
Yes.
So hopefully, sooner than later, if we find you a
Yes,
match,
sir.
which I think we will, then you can maybe take off the 22nd and then maybe enjoy yourself a
Yeah.
little bit because I've
Yeah.
seen members of Millennia and the extended family enjoy themselves after a fight or two. So I guess it would
Uh,
stand. Maybe you should have to have the fun like they have the fun because I've seen them go hard in the paint equally
yeah.
off and on the mats and then still make
Yeah.
it to training the next day.
Yeah, they do. They do for sure. If any, if anything, I might just be the designated driver because I don't drink. So,
Wow.
but the thing is, I'm crazy nonetheless. That's the beauty of it. I can be crazy sober. I'm just insane. That's just what it is. So, yeah.
So why do you feel that you're insane? Because I get the energy part. That's not the part
Hmm.
that's unfamiliar to me. And listen, I didn't drink till I was 25 years old. So I was around people for a long period of my life where I was like, I'm just not interested in it. Maybe one day. And I
Yeah.
knew that would be a
Right.
possibility, but I said, I don't need that to complete me. So for
Right. Right.
you, I can understand maybe you don't want to do that, but why do you feel that you're crazy when I just see you as an energetic guy who's actually kind of fun and nice to be around from what it seems like in the videos?
Yeah. So so this is um this is public me. I don't know how to say this. Like there's things that I say that they're a bit outlandish. Um they're entertaining but quite outlandish. And yeah, I'll just leave it at that. But other than, I mean, I'm kind of insane. I think my work ethic personally kind of makes me a little crazy. I feel like I do a lot and others don't do as much and they can't last as long. So that's kind of how I feel. That's maybe the confidence in my cardio and stuff that I have. Um, but yeah, I just feel like I'm a bit unhinged. And if you see my like you my not YouTube, my Instagram and the promo videos I've done and all this stuff, I'm a bit unhinged. So so yeah.
See, okay, this is where I get highly confused. But before I go into
Okay.
why I'm confused, I guess I should address this. Maybe it's really
Mhm.
good that you don't drink because when you say like no one can match my level, that's usually what drunks say to people who really can't live with their ability to drink as much as they do. So, crisis avoided. Thank God for that. But two, when you say that you're like, hey man, I say some unhinged shit. I thought, okay, you're right. There, this is public you. You know you're in the middle of an interview, so you're probably on your best
Yeah.
behavior. Obviously, we all say things in the group chat and amongst our friends at the gym. And then you tell me you're like, man, look how crazy I was on the promo. And I was like, I didn't think it was that crazy. I just thought it was like that dude showing me his personality and he seems kind of fun. So I didn't take it as, dude, look at this insane SOB. Let's not put him on our card. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, selling the fight. That's great. Good.
So okay, so not that the promo for this
Oh, no. Other
match,
promos.
the other promos. Yeah, the other promos. I do things. They're not like it's just comedy. It's a lot of comedy. It's a lot of entertainment. That's just I'm big on entertaining. So um whatever that looks like or means, as long as I stay truthful to me and like, you know, not everything's cut on camera, then I'm down to do it. But yeah, I just say crazy things sometimes, and they don't. Yeah, they're never really offensive necessarily. Maybe, probably, to somebody, but it's all for the fun of it. You know, it's like a comedian. Comedians say crazy stuff for the audience, and that's just kind of how I do things.
So when we're talking about this, are you talking about like roasting your opponents or are you saying crazy things? Because you mentioned you're very confident in your cardio. So sometimes it's hyping it up and you might say something like, dude, this dude can't keep up with me. This dude's a bum. Like whatever. That stuff doesn't even phase me anymore. So
Right,
when I
right.
look at it, I just go, is he selling the fight? Great. Is he going to be a problem to work with? Great. He's not.
Uh-huh.
Is he going
No.
to shake the dude's hand after they have a war inside the
Yeah,
cage?
yeah,
Sure. If those
yeah,
things exist, there's a lot of stuff I really don't care that you'll say. But
yeah.
every once in a while, you might be like, how did Palestine find its way into this conversation? Like, that's a different thing that I might kind
Yeah.
of say,
Where,
like, hey, bud, maybe ease back on that. But
like,
other than
where'd the
that,
9/11 jokes come from?
exactly. That's the stuff where I might be like, hey, man, that was a good first draft. When you talk about comparing yourself to comedians, there's a reason why they tell everybody to check their cell phone at the door. Maybe you need to work on your material first here, Dave Chappelle, before we get the rest of the crowd doing
Maybe,
their thing.
maybe.
But again, I think most people know that is part of the game. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think just as long as you keep it kind of funny and I don't know, I haven't seen your
Right.
personality take me
Right.
in a way that I thought, man, F this dude. I just thought, oh, he's entertaining.
No,
Look at that.
no, it's never like that. It's not like when I say it crazy and insane. It's not like it's not like I don't know, like I don't know, off-putting. I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't say it's off-putting. I feel like most people like me for the most part, unless I like ruin their day via like making them miserable in practice or something, right? They might say they hate me after, but other than that, um, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty likable. I just, yeah, I'm pretty likable,
You know,
right? I think my dog likes me, so that works.
not that the dog is pot invested in getting fed tonight, but I'm
No, she's
glad.
hungry.
Yeah, exactly. Like she's gonna give you every answer that's like, yeah, yeah, you're super great. Just feed
Yeah,
me
yeah,
and
yeah.
whatever.
Just
Okay. There's so much that I feel that we've bypassed. But before we go to the next
okay.
thing, I want to put a pin here and try to get a better understanding of why you think you've said something that might have been like out of pocket. So when you've done these videos, what do you think that you've said or done that created some sort of intrigue or buzz that you were like, damn, people might think I'm crazy because I did or said this?
So, I say I dress up like a homeless man. Others say I dress up like a crackhead. Um, whichever you decide, I look more like. I leave it up to you. But I just do skits. I do skits. You know, little things. Um, I don't trash talk. I mean, nobody's made me have to trash talk. I could roast the fuck. Like if they really wanted to. Like if Hector really, really wanted to get into it, then I would have got into it. But nah, it's all fun and games. I don't want to like disrespect anybody or like you know what I mean. But but yeah, I'm just a little like most people think about like how they are viewed, right? Like how do other people view me when I do this, or if am I going to be embarrassed if I do that? And I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I'll do whatever I want, and if it's fun, then I do it. As long as it's not harming people or whatever, then I'm just like like I'm pretty much a free spirit, and yeah, I don't know. I'm a chill guy. I'm a pretty chill guy,
Yeah,
dude.
all
I'm
this
just a
checks out
little
to me. Okay, got it. All right.
yeah, yeah,
You're crazy because you fight and you think that
yeah,
you're being crazy when you're doing these videos, but you're not. You're being entertaining.
no,
And I can tell you
yeah.
this, and I think it will give you some slight pause, but I can guarantee you I talk more trash to Hector than you did. So
No, for sure.
I feel very good about my life in doing that because
No,
his
no,
birthday was the other day. I sent him a note. I was like, hey, happy birthday, Jobber, which is pro wrestling speak for a guy who always loses. And, I sent him that note because this dude was threatening me and he was like, hey, man, you just wait. I'm going to attack you, like a pro wrestling kind of attack. And I was like, first of
he's so
all,
small.
it was like, bro, you're a buck 30. What are you going to do to me? Like, if I want to,
He
I can
made me
power
come down
bomb
to
you
him.
into a trash can if I really feel like it. Like, okay, you're good at jiu-jitsu. Well, I'm good at throwing you into this wall. All right, and you're dead.
Right, right. Yeah.
He had such a good sense of humor about it that I just couldn't stop doing it. So when you're sitting there being like, yeah, I didn't say anything mean to him, I was like, oh, but I did. And I wasn't fighting him. So you can imagine my surprise when the only downside of you winning, from my perspective, was I didn't get to roast Hector afterwards. But
Oh man.
nonetheless, you winning also gave us really fun highlights and also these interviews where I just go like, yeah, there's something to you. I mean, you're right. I don't think you're crazy in the sense that it's bad to people, but it's like when you're on the microphone, you're at an 11 out of a 10. Like your
Yeah.
personality's dialed up, you're excited. And those are the people that I think you gravitate to when you're an interviewer because you go, oh, that's this dude just being himself and like enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
And that's all you could ever ask
Yeah.
for athletes.
Mm. No, seriously, actually been working on just enjoying the experience a lot more and taking it all in and being present. And so, oh, real quick, I just thought of an example of
Okay.
I don't know. I guess me being an asshole. So my friend, I have a friend of mine, and he's a great guy. Um, he has eczema, right? See you laughed. It's funny. Sorry, no, it's not funny. But sorry, he has eczema. So like whenever I see like the commercials of like whatever medication or treatment and it's talking about eczema, I always record it and I send it to him every time. And I'm like, and so yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing.
Oh
It's
man.
hilarious.
So Corvin, maybe it's better we're not on the same team because I don't know it's that far off from the type of things that I do to my friends on our teams.
Yeah.
Uh,
No.
I like to say if the group chat ever was released, I would not be a friendly neighborhood BJJ
No. No.
podcaster. I would probably be way more judged than I need to be.
Yeah.
But I like to tell people, I'm like, I just feel like I've had a policy on the show, which is I never do a joke on air that I wouldn't do to somebody's face. So
Right.
a
Right.
for example of that is this weekend was the Canelo fight. So if you guys are watching this in the
Hmm.
future, it was Canelo and Crawford. And the
Yeah.
first person I see on air is Mario Lopez. Now, Mario Lopez is close enough in proximity. We're like a degree away from knowing each other. And we've run into each other
Okay.
he's come to a couple open mats that I've been around.
Hmm.
So we have friends who know friends. But when I saw him on that show doing the pre-show, I was like, oh my God, who turned up Mario Lopez's hair color to high contrast? Because that is the most jet black I have ever seen any human's hair.
You know.
And I just realized as I was saying it out loud, I'm like, I know people who might tell him that joke. And I go, I'm happy to tell him that joke. Now, granted,
Yes.
he might want to roll and have some words with me after that. But I was like, I mean, that's fine. I'll roll with AC Slater. I think that's good.
Right.
I was like, he's definitely really good. I've seen what he does, but I'm like, if he goes crazy, AC Slater can't get a crossface to the face because he's got to look
I
pretty
mean,
for the camera. So between that and a heel hook, I feel like I've at least got some safety measures in case things get a little out of hand. But I'll have a
right. In
friendly
case
roll
he
with
gets
him.
froggy.
Hey, bro,
No.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying. I learned everybody's weakness very quickly so that I'm like, hey, if things go south,
Yes.
I need to take Superman down. But that's always
Right.
been my policy, which is a friendly roast and one that's always measured in truth with a sense
Right.
of playfulness. So I feel we're
Yeah.
not too far off on this idea.
No. 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 No.
You mentioned this, though, and I looked at your social media and I have questions. Less about the content that you've put up because that all speaks to me. I get it. And more about like just in a short amount of time, I feel like on your social media, we've seen about 4 or 5 different hairstyles on there. So how much time do you put into going into your hairstyle? And second of all, when you decided to go with that platinum blonde style, how much work did that take? Because it looked like an undertaking, sir.
So actually, it was super easy. It was super easy. I just got some dye from where? Walmart. Walmart. And it was like this like non-chemical, I just didn't want all these crazy chemicals in my head. So it was just like this organic, whatever. I don't know how you make hair dye organic, but it was organic. Um so yeah, did that and one time the blonde was just bleach. I just bleached it and that's how it turned out. And then I've had red before. I've had like split down the middle before color. Like it was weird. That was a time. That was a time. Yeah.
So, do you do that specific to fights to give yourself a new thing? Or is that something that you do and then you get to show it off as a by proxy at the fights?
Um, it was more of a me thing. It was more of a me thing. Like I don't know. I just wanted to do it. I don't know why. Like that's what I mean. Like it's just I wanted to do it, so I did it. And when I was blonde, it blinded some people. It caused some car accidents. But you know, things you just gotta roll with the punches. And so prayers to those families. But yeah, it was good. It was a good time.
I'm glad you are a celebrity status of knocking people safely and unsafely off of the freeways
Yes.
with the look.
Yes.
So,
The glow.
hey man,
Yes.
it's a real problem to
Yes.
have. So, God bless to whatever you have to go through. I found it so funny because I'm a person who's pretty much had the same haircut and look for over 30 some odd years. And most of that is because I'm like, dude, this giant head cannot do what you do. I
You do
see
have a
those
large head.
hairstyles. I'm not, it's real bad. And
Yeah.
like, there are times when the one client I do have to report home to will look at me and go, yeah, it was a bad choice, babe. And I'll be like, yeah, if the wife's not happy, we're not going to do that. So,
Right. Right. I mean, you know, your head is not. It's not that big. You know what I mean? Like it's manageable.
so it's a good word that you found there. Manageable is pretty cool.
It's that good.
I just find it funny that a person who has stolen their look from Eddie Murphy is trying to tell me about my head and my appearance and my look. All I know is you're about to be buddy love here in just 2 seconds. But anyway, I'm going to come back to the
That's
interview.
crazy. That's crazy.
See,
That's
look,
crazy.
this is how you can
Okay.
tell.
That,
This is real pro wrestling, like manager speak. Like I have bullets and
yeah,
chambers at ready at all times for friends.
that's crazy. At least you didn't do like a coming to America joke, right? That'd be
Nah.
crazy if you did that. He's like, we're not touching that. We're not touching
I'm like, hey, bro.
that.
In this day and age, come to America 3 isn't going to happen because they can't get over to the border.
Dude,
So I think I'm
bro,
just going to leave it
I
at
made
that.
it. I might be the next one. I might just be how he got here as a child. Who knows?
You know what?
Young Eddie.
We say this, but this is how wild jiu-jitsu is. The gentleman, Jermaine, who played his son in the last one, does jiu-jitsu, and we cross
Mm.
paths. So it was wild to have the star of Coming to America too, who I've seen in dozens of other things, just chilling in our gym. And I was like, hey, man, what's up? And he's like introducing himself. He's like, hi, my name's Jermaine. I was like, we all know who you are, dude. Shut up.
He's
My
like,
name's Raph.
yeah,
Like,
okay. All
you
right.
don't need
All
to be
right.
like, oh, me. I've been on TV for a long time.
Right.
Like, bro, we know who
Right.
you are.
We know. We know.
Sweetheart of a human being. So love him a lot. Jermaine, I hope you're still training. If you're watching this, you need to come back and visit soon. Corbin, let's get back
You
to
need to
you.
come to America.
Ah.
Ah! Okay.
Let's get back to you. I want to ask this for you right now.
Uh-huh.
Where does martial arts find its way into your life? So when do you start martial arts and were you playing other sports first?
Okay. Real quick. Do you mind if I get my charger?
Not at all. Go right ahead.
1 second. 1 second. Okay. Okay. So yeah, playing other sports beforehand. Yes, I played a plethora of sports. You know, I was involved in quite the extracurricular activity. Right. Um, but yeah, no, I had to stay off the streets. That's really what it was. I had to stay off the streets. But yeah, I swam. I was on the swim team. I um, I ran cross country. I played track and field. I wrestled. Played tennis. I cheerleaded, and something else in there. Something, right? It's but yeah, I think that's it.
Would you say
And
that's it? That's still a lot of stuff. Like you're just like, and I think that's it. I might have missed one other one. I'm like, football. If you did, you seem like a person who had so much energy. You might have been playing football and then went to go do the cheerleading in between plays. So like, when you say that to me, I think about, did you play like soccer? Did you play track and field? Like, were those the other ones that you did? Because when you're trying to figure out what the other thing is, it sounded like it was big.
no, it's so I did. Yeah, I did track and field. Um, I did sprinting and I did distance, so that was cool. Um, and then yeah, but no, that's because I just feel like it. I feel like I did something else, but no, that was it. That was it. Hmm.
So, okay, of those, is there one or two that gravitated easily to you? Because to me, it feels like the track and field, the running, especially considering you upkeep with that now as an athlete, is something you
Hmm.
likely really enjoyed or found something in. But was there another sport you like connected with at that time?
Honestly, bro. honestly.
Mm.
So I connected probably most with cheerleading.
Hmm.
I, so go figure, right? Um, yeah, I am. So after I cheerleaded in high school, and my high school we won nationals and all that stuff. We are pretty good. And after that, I went to I cheerleaded professionally and did a couple camps, taught a couple kids. Um, and yeah, and it was a great experience. But actually, a lot of the cheerleading stuff translated over to fighting pretty well, honestly. So um, I'm grateful. Like if I didn't cheerlead, a lot of like I'll be a totally different fighter. So hooray for cheerleading.
I, I mean, what a great endorsement because you're pretty good at all this. An excellent athlete all around. That must have been super dope. And probably gave a lot of props to the cheerleading crew that you would be like, all right, well, now I'm going to go run. All right, now I'm going to go wrestle. Like, I don't think people were messing with you back then because it almost
No.
feels like in a day and age like that, maybe people might have.
Yeah, and it's funny actually that you bring that up because like I guess there was a rumor, not a rumor. It was just, so one there was a rumor that I was gay. There was one. Because I cheerleaded and I wrestled, and in our neighborhood, that's just not a normal thing for a male to do. Either of them. Um, at least a male of my demographic. And so yeah, but also so it was a double-edged sword, I guess, because people were like, but don't say that to him because he'll slam you on your head. So it was like it was like he's gay, but he can slam you on your head. So it's like, let's not call him gay. And so that was that. And then I talked to a friend that I haven't seen in a long time. He was like, yeah, man, I heard you were gay. I was like, I'm not. I'm not. That's crazy. He's like, yeah, they also said you'll slam them on their head. I was like, I wouldn't do that either. But okay. Glad we cleared that up. But yeah.
I mean, it is pretty funny, but it's also indicative of a crazy ass world that just doesn't know what to do with gay people, where they're like, I mean, is he going to beat me up? But also, I'm not sure he is, so let's just say he is. Like,
Yeah.
what a wild sort of like accusation. And then, like, please don't beat me up, sir. It's like,
Right.
oh, okay. Listen, I don't think I would, but what is wrong with you guys? Okay.
You're
Having said that,
right.
though, if you look at what male cheerleaders have to do, the amount of strength that they do have, it's no wonder that you gravitated toward that because I think about sometimes, if somebody has you do one good PR rep, you're essentially doing multiple versions of those PR reps, but then with the coordination of other people trying to make it work, there's a whole
Yeah.
series of different elements that go to into it. So I've seen it in action and I've just been like, God, that's exhausting. Plus, there's almost like an extra gymnastic element that you have to do with all of this that I go,
Yeah.
no, my body doesn't understand any of that. Like anytime I see somebody do a backflip, I go, sounds great. I think I understand what you're doing. Not ever gonna
Right.
try it. Thank you for offering though.
You can keep that. Keep that.
Very
No,
much so.
I get it. I get it. No, it was I guess it was, yeah, it was right up my alley. I didn't even know it was. So yeah, I flipped, I tossed the girls in the air. I was always like the back spot, so I had to make sure that they didn't fall. Like I was the catcher. Um that sounded crazy.
Nope.
Um
See, you know what?
I
Hold
made
on.
sure that
Wait. Did you do this to yourself because maybe you were just
no,
using the wrong words?
no,
Because when you're like,
no,
"Oh, I had to catch them, no one's gonna think that really, unless you're like, uh-oh. Let me make sure for
no,
those who may be uncertain,
no,
not
no,
in
no,
that
no,
way. I'm good,
no. It was because I said I was a catcher, and it was like, and because I said it in that way, I was like, let
My
me.
bad.
Okay,
Take it.
no, I am no, but yeah, I was always out there, and then I didn't know that I loved to dance, and I loved to dance, and so that was cool. But yeah, it's a lot. You got to know where people are at. You got to have a lot of spatial awareness. Um, so and then when you're flipping, you got to be. aware of your body. You know, one small turn could throw the whole flip off, and then you're turning this way and you're flipping that way, and then you're bumping into people, and so it's a lot. It's a lot to like manage mentally, but like my brain is always like firing. So for me, it was like this is perfect. Like this is how my brain runs all the time. So it was like a fish to water. I was a fish to water.
We
There we
got you.
go.
So, how do you find martial arts? Who suggests it to you? Does it come from your wrestling? Because now, I mean, it sounded like you could have actually gone the professional cheerleading route for a long time. So it felt like you were looking for something either subconsciously or not.
Yeah. So like I think so. I was wrestling at the time as well, and then like post high school, I went to I wrestled at Mount Sac for a bit, and I don't know. You know, with wrestling, I just felt like I was at a disadvantage in a lot of ways. You know, I started pretty late. I started as a junior, I think. Um, and I was like, I'm an athlete. Like, I was pretty good. Like, just for a guy who just picked it up, you know, I was going with hanging with a lot of decent level guys. But you know, when you really think about it, like these guys started when they were 3, 5, you know, and then there's like different connections. And in wrestling, it's such a niche group. It's about who you know, how you know them, and then like all that stuff. So um, I don't know. And then also, I just felt like it started. I felt like I reached a cap in a sense. Like I couldn't catch up to people experience wise. So yeah, I'm good like technically and athletically, cardio, whatever. But my experience level is never gonna match theirs. Um, so yeah, I think for me, I just wanted something more, something that I can kind of break into and use a little bit more of myself. You know, I feel like I was a little one dimensional in wrestling, and so yeah, I was looking around. I didn't really know what to look for because I never heard of like MMA. Like I didn't watch fights. Um, didn't really know much about it. Didn't watch boxing, none of that. I was actually afraid of conflict growing up, so um, that was a big thing. Like not knowing how to deal with conflict, shying away from it, being avoidant, and like so yeah, I just didn't gravitate to that stuff. But I think I was working as a nurse. I was 19 years old. I was working as a nurse, nursing assistant, and you know, just doing my rounds in the little convalescent. And I went, finished up with the resident, put her to bed, and then I walked over to the dining room to like you know just chill. And the Filipino little my Filipino coworkers, I call them Filipino because of the way I okay they were Filipino, but it was the approach of it. I don't know. It was just funny. It was funny. So I always make sure I add that in there. But but yeah, they were scrolling through the TV and they stopped on fights and they were like, "Oh, my husband, like my husband loves to watch this," and I was like looked up and I was like, "Oh, this is crazy! Like there's blood." I think it was Michael Chandler fighting, and it was like blood everywhere, and I was like, "Yo, what is this?" It's just like, "Yeah, it's MMA, and my husband loves this, but I hate it," and I was like, oh, "Okay." And then I just kind of like watched it for like a couple seconds, and I was just like, "Okay, well, he's doing this because of that," and okay, I see why he's doing that. And I just saw the reasons for it. It made sense, and I just thought it was dope. It was dope, and I felt like I had to do it. And so from then on, it was like finding a gym, um, you know, looking around, looking for a spot that resonates well with me, and then I think one day after wrestling practice, I was driving through Rancho and just thought, let me look around for a gym, and then I found Millennia, and this is when I was about 20, 19, 20 years old. And I was just like, yeah, this is the spot. You know, I met the owners, I met Romy, I met Batiste at the time. And I was just like, yeah, like, I want to be here. And so you know, ups and downs, but I stayed. I'm still there. So yeah.
So, with that in mind, you find Millennia. Can you describe your very first day of jiu-jitsu? So, obviously, we know you get more into MMA and you find it that way. But what was your very
Mhm.
first jiu-jitsu class experience like?
So it was a lot more slow paced than I'm used to. I, first class is going to be gi, so it was a lot of instruction, a lot of like details. Whereas wrestling, I feel like it's more macro. It's a lot of step here, do this, and add intensity. It's like yes. Um, but for this, it was like receive intensity, right?
Hmm.
Um, and for me, yeah, I got tapped a lot. I got tapped a lot, like every wrestler does. The that insufferable guillotine. Yeah, for sure. That was fun. Taught me a lot. Um, I don't get guillotined much at all anymore, so that growth was made. But yeah, it was a fun experience. It was I didn't like gi coming from wrestling just because of the grabbing and I just felt like like I want to be athletic, but it was a good lesson to learn to, and even now I'm still learning how to slow down and camp on people a little bit more and not rush position and all this stuff. So it's still a lesson to be learned, but um, it was a very very pleasant experience. And seeing as how I'm so involved in grappling now, a little bit more, I'm involved in grappling, so I had to stick with it.
Good man. Let me ask this. When did you know that you actually fell in love with grappling or just martial arts in general? Because for you, you're now doing this as more than just a hobbyist. So, what is the thing that makes you take that leap, that jump to becoming more than just a practitioner who enjoys doing this for a release and more as something that you're actually doing more as a career?
So I think I'm kind of like an extremist um, in what I do. So whenever I go for something, if I only do for the most part things that I have interest in. That's the things that I invest most of my time in, things that I know most about, right? Um, so yeah. So for me, when I was in jiu-jitsu, it was like, no, like I have to challenge myself. I have to I want to be the best. Like in my head at the time, it was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be like black belt level and still have a white belt because I want to be that guy. You know what I mean? Like they look at me and be like, oh, like I've slept on, and then I rack them up, and they're like, oh snap, he's black belt. It's like yeah, So um, that was kind of my my mentality. But and then I got my blue belt, and I was like, dang it, ah. Um, and so yeah, I mean. I just like to know that I'm the best. Like I said, I like to win. And so when I go against guys and they're not like they're just accepting position, it's like okay, this is not fun. So in competition they give it their all, and when you can dominate their all by maybe even like not even giving your all, that's so fun. It's so fun because I'm like, dude, you're trying so hard, and I have so much more to give. Like, it's hilarious.
Well, I'm glad you found the sport because, you can't really pick on people in tennis where you're like, man, you're not even trying. Oh, that's so sad. And like, I'm just putting a 10 into this. Like, I think at a certain point they escort you off the court, so they're like, sir, there's
All right,
decorum
sir.
here.
All right, sir.
You found the
Come on.
right outlet for that. Let's ask this
No,
though.
for sure.
Why fighting? Because I love that you mentioned this competition, and fighting is nothing if the most extreme version of competition. So what gave you this kind of confidence or this need to get in there and fight? Because not everybody has to.
I I honestly I knew that I would be great at it. There was a level when I first saw it, like literally that first time as a nursing assistant, I was like, I have to do it
Hmm.
because I felt like again, like I said, I felt like I was a little constrained in wrestling. Um, I just feel like there's more. Like I like to consider myself like a multifaceted individual. There's a lot to me. I'm up, I'm down, I'm to the left, to the right, and there's so much going on in here. Like, so when I like with fighting, it was like all those numbers, I don't know if there's like a meme or whatever, or GIF, where it's just like the numbers going around. Like I'm just like it all makes sense. Like, and I love it. I love the meshing of the arts, how you do this, why you do it, and it's not violence. It's not about the violence. It's the domination. I don't know what that word domination, but to just like to beat someone at their best. There's a pride in that. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, but yeah, I just felt like I don't have any anger issues where I have to like, I'm just angry at the world. It's just like I just know that I'll be great at it. I know it, and I do it in the room and all this stuff, and I'm like, dude, I'm great, and it's just getting more comfortable out there in competition to show that I'm great because people don't know it yet.
Honestly, it usually just takes the one person to know, and then everybody else catches on over
Yeah,
time. And if anybody was paying attention to
yeah.
your match at Subversive, I think it's bearing good bones that you will be even
Thank you.
better than that in the future. You also have a very incredibly
Yes.
fun MMA career, most recently
Hmm.
fighting for LFA. So,
Hmm.
we're not short on opportunities to get to see you. So I'm very excited that you became part of the Subversive family, and I hope that we can see more of you. But as we round the bases here to third, I'd love to give you an opportunity to go ahead and shout out friends, family, anybody you want to go ahead and thank, even if it's sponsors. I'm going to put the camera on you,
Man,
sir, and go ahead and take care of your people who take care of you.
man. Okay, so I got to get this right. So, one, first and foremost, shout out to Millennia MMA. Millennia MMA is dope as heck. And then a couple of our amateur fighters are fighting this weekend over at Rampage Jackson's promotion over in LA. Have a couple of my extended family from OG Training Center. Shout out to OG Training Center. He's fighting in Lights Out in Long Beach also this Saturday. And then I have my teammate Taylor Malden. She's fighting over in Las Vegas. I think it's XFC. So she'll be fighting over there, and also this Saturday. So we have three different events going on this weekend. So it's going to be kind of hectic. But yeah, and then shout out to Brogan Walker. She's going to be fighting, making her return in the UFC October 4th. My boy Ricardo Arellano is fighting October 10th for A1 combat, and yeah, just big shout out to Peerless, shout out to Layer, shout out to all the homies that make me better. If I forgot your name, I'm sorry. I love you all, but big shout outs.
Love that. Appreciate that. Corvin, you were a blast to have on the show. We appreciate you, my
Thank you,
man. And,
thank you.
obviously, it being far, I know we couldn't
Mhm.
do this one in person, but
It's okay.
I'm going to say something that I think will kind of burn on the inside, and you're just going to have to live with it.
It's not an STD, right?
How am I giving you an STD over a fucking virtual
I just,
interview, my man?
I mean, it's that burn on the
Logically
inside. So
think
just
that
never.
through.
You're right. You're
What I
right.
was going to
See,
say is, you do say inappropriate things, but it's not far off from this dumb community. You're actually right on track for it. Corvin, what I was going to say is, we were going to do this in person. We have a rule, which is if you come do it in person, I train with you, and it's going to have to eat at you that you didn't get to beat me. So now that's something that you have to live with, sir.
I think it's something that you have to live with
Oh,
because
really?
I don't know how pleasant that would have been.
Here's the weird part. I like to remind people we've had world-class number one jiu-jitsu athletes on this show. I've been beaten up by better, but I do it because of this reason.
Oh,
I do it for this reason.
dang, dude.
It's just, it changes the interview because
Yeah.
what ends up happening is you train with somebody, you know them better. You interview with somebody
Hmm.
over a virtual connection, you kind of know them. And I feel like we got to know a
Yeah.
lot about you and your personality. But I can tell you, the jokes I probably would have had in person, a lot more cutting. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, I'd have to deal with your pace. But now I know your main
That's
weakness
about it.
is you don't like it when people move slowly. And that also is a specialty of mine because I'm like, when we do jiu-jitsu, I don't have to move fast. Like, we make an agreement
Just
that we say, hey, listen, you do what you do well. I'll do what I do well. We'll see what happens in the
right.
middle somewhere. And yeah, I get
Yeah,
it.
you're gonna slow me down.
But I did tell people, like, I had a buddy of mine, I was like, hey, man, so we're going to roll. And he shows up, and I told him, I was like, hey, man, we do marathon rounds. So we're going for an hour, no timer or something.
Oh,
And my buddy, like, within the first few seconds, kind of gets injured. And I'm like, oh, hey, man, I think we should stop. You know, like, being the adult
right,
that I am. And this
right,
dude's like,
right.
nah, man, let's do it. Let's keep going. And I was like, bud, I don't know how to tell you this. I'm not your dad. I can't tell you to stop. But I have a perfect record of never injuring people. So I'd like to keep that.
Right,
And he's just like, no, man,
right.
let's keep going. So he's rolling with me. And I'm like trying to put him in
No.
positions where he's not going to get hurt. And then
Hmm.
he wanted to do some wrestling with me. And I was
Oh
like,
no.
okay. And he did like this jumping version of like that's almost like a front headlock, akin to doing a jumping guillotine. And
Yeah.
then I just kind of sidestepped him, like literally, like, you know, when Superman bypasses and sees the Flash. I was just like, bro, what are you doing? And then he hit the leg that he kind of like injured. And then all
Oh
of a sudden he just
no.
goes, ah, and just like falls on the ground. And I was like, bro, if I was a meaner guy, I'd just come to take this pin. But I'm going to let you just live with this fact. And he's looking at me and
Right.
he goes, bro, I didn't want to let you down. I was like, there's nothing to be let down. This is just fun.
Right.
So, yeah, we do hour-long training. I think that is good
That's
for a
awesome.
distance runner. It's just
No, that's awesome.
maybe one of these times in the future we do it in the like an actual train and then do an interview because you're not short on reasons for interviews coming up in the future. But you're good people, Corvin. You do a great match for
Thank you.
us.
Thank you.
We'd love to see
Thank
you back, and we'll be waiting with bated breath to see what the next thing is for you, sir.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate this interview. It was a great time, great energy, and I look forward to coming on again.
All right, ladies and gents, thank you so much for sticking around. We appreciate you guys. That was a great interview with Corvin. If you like this, like, comment, and subscribe on the video directly itself. Let us know what it is you enjoy about this. You can also tell us in the comment section, what is a joke that you've seen that has gone too far in MMA? You can name the big ones, but a lot of the times it's actually these smaller organizations. Corvin was trying to convince me that he says insane stuff. And I just, I do research on these guys. I didn't see it. So it might exist, but not to my knowledge. So much love and respect to him and his team Millennia and the extended family that he mentioned in there, the Peerless, the Lair, all those folks. Great, great people. Additionally, you can go check us out at patreon.com/grappling hour. Go there, support us, $5 a month to see these interviews 30 days before anybody else. And for a few extra dollars, you can see extra bonus content not available anywhere else. And it really does help us here. So I really do love and appreciate all of you guys who come through and give us love there. You guys can also buy some new merch. We were talking about this a little while ago, but you can get yourself a new Grappling Hour tank top. This is for all of you guys who are freaking yoked, who want to show off the guns. It's the season. It's similar to the shirt, except no sleeves. So check that out. See? No sleeves. Sleeves gone. We got a note. You guys wanted some. Even my wife was saying crop tops are in right now. We'll figure that out. I'm not sure. Seems like extra work to do, but wouldn't be surprised here at this show. Last but not least, if you like the stuff we talk about here, you can check us out on our Discord to continue the conversations we have here on the show. By the way, in case you forgot, where you get those, rafesparza.com/merch. I realized I didn't say it there. The lower crawl would have said it, but I didn't say it out loud, so I think it's important to do both. Anyways, ladies and gents, that's going to do it for us here at the Grappling Hour. Thank you so much for spending time with us. We love and appreciate you guys, and we will see you back at the next one. But until then, it's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.